Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching an ABC 10 Plus recap of stories you may have missed. The dive team with the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Department is searching for a missing 15-year-old after a crash into an aqueduct in Patterson. Then we sit down with the new executive director of Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. He's promising change after an ABC 10 investigation uncovered serious issues. The ABC 10 Plus recap starts now.
Let's get to this tonight. The search is on in Stanislaus County for a missing 15-year-old boy. He's one of two victims in a crash Tuesday morning into the California aqueduct.
Yeah, we spoke to the heartbroken family on day 3 of the search today. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras is live near Patterson.
And Gabriel, we know you've been on this story for a day now, out there in the field. What have you learned?
That's right. We are just off of Sperry Road at Patterson city limits, about a mile and a half south of where those two lives likely came to an end Tuesday. It's along these banks that family members, volunteers, and CHP officers have been looking for that missing teen's body, but so far all they've found is the place where this nightmare began. On the banks of the California aqueduct, possibly feet away from closure.
Thank you.
Javier Ramirez and his family are
Just trying to be strong. Pretty much. You know, it's been an emotional few days.
It's been 3 days since everything changed in an instant. His brother, Raul Ramirez, and his 15-year-old son, Aaron, were on their way from their Los Baños home to pick up a car. But on I-5, just north of Patterson, their trip took a tragic turn.
Well, we believe that he had a heart attack and then pretty much just went straight into the water.
A Stanislaus County Sheriff dive team found Raul's body and the car, but Aaron still hasn't been found.
We're just trying to organize different groups of people to hike different sections, and we just really would like to get a diver into the water.
Just want to follow with you? Yeah, follow me.
Volunteer Juan Heredia is ready to be that diver.
I have my equipment ready with me. If they call me and say, yes, you can dive, and I will just jump in the water and find him.
But he can't.
Fortunately, I heard from the family that the water district, they don't allow anybody to do the search.
The state's Department of Water Resources operates the aqueduct and said it would only cooperate with law enforcement divers, saying in a statement, quote, "Due to liability and safety issues, DWR cannot allow private entities to enter the water. We understand that this is a tragic situation and our hearts are with the victim's family." The Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office says the aqueduct flow can only be shut for a short time and that their divers wouldn't know where to search because the body could be miles away.
The day of the accident, the water was 4 to 5 feet higher and the water was rushing really fast.
For now, Javier, his volunteers, and his family remain on the edge, stuck between an aqueduct and closure.
He's definitely one of the smartest kids I know. He's always playing the guitar, playing the piano, trying to make people laugh. Want him to come back, come home.
The CHP says it has had drones, a helicopter, and done surface searches in this area. They've also alerted local hospitals and law enforcement agencies just in the case the teen did survive. The CHP will be doing another search from the surface around 6 tonight and says they will be back out here tomorrow as well. The family members and their group of volunteers say they will be out here tomorrow too. Live just outside of Patterson, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
I can only imagine how excruciating this is for the families. Gabriel, our hearts are with them during this difficult time. Keep us posted as you learn more. Gabriel Porras, thank you. ABC 10 has done several reports on the underwater junkyard that lies beneath the San Joaquin River in Stockton. Watch those stories right now by finding the special on the home screen of the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app.
We start tonight with a 2-year ABC 10 investigation into Highlands, one of California's largest charter schools that led to a scathing state audit that found the school inappropriately received $180 million in public funds and also broke the law. It's led to calls for oversight and Highlands appointing another new executive director. ABC 10 investigative reporter Andy Judson spoke with him, and she joins us with what he had to say tonight.
Yeah, Alex, for the first time since our investigation aired, I sat down one-on-one with Highlands' new executive director, Jonathan Raymond. He answered tough questions and shared how he plans to turn the school around.
Right now, we're fighting for our life, Andy.
Highlands' new executive director is just weeks in and already tasked with rebuilding a school in crisis and answering for misused taxpayer funds.
Highlands leadership has spent millions on travel, five-star resorts, golf events, parties, lobbying, to name a few. Where that money was not going was to the students.
Yeah, so, I wasn't here when a lot of those decisions were made, and a lot of mistakes were made. And a lot of money, was spent in the way that was inappropriate. But under my watch, we're not going to waste public resources.
His main message, Highlands must stay open for students.
This is their safe haven. This is their lifeline. And if Highlands closes, there's nowhere else for them to go.
He promises a new direction, one that puts students first.
I'm reviewing everything. I'm looking at our curriculum, because we need to do better for our students. It's building a high quality team, and it's doing everything we can to build Highlands back better.
You say that you're going to bring in new leadership, things are changing here, but the audit did find several employees lacked the experience, education, and credentials needed and required for their positions, but they were employed due to nepotism or personal connections. These employees remain here, some even still in leadership positions. How do you justify that?
I'm reviewing all of our positions. I've asked to see, position descriptions, qualifications. So we're going to go through it, line by line. And if we have folks that aren't qualified, we'll remove them.
One of his first moves, calling for the entire Highlands board to step down, he says.
I will depart as soon as you know you have a suitable person.
But I am resigning.
Announce my decision to resign.
Yeah, and all the board has committed, to resigning and to being replaced.
Another key priority for Raymond is increasing graduation rates.
Yeah, they're way too low. They're unacceptable.
But one critical change, he says, needs to happen internally.
Staff here previously described a toxic and cult-like workplace. Will there be specific culture changes under you? And if so, how do you implement that when it's, the culture is on such a personal level?
Yeah, so I think it's how you just ended. It's on a personal level. It starts with me, and then it starts with the folks that I hire. And it's also about setting high expectations.
So if we sit down, let's say in another year, what do you hope has been done by that point? What does success look like in the first year you're here?
Yeah, well, I think success looks like, we're open, right? We're still here. We're able to provide both the academic and the supports to our students that they need, that meet their learning styles and that meet their needs. And that the story is, Highlands rebuilt back better.
What's your message to people who are watching this interview, especially the staff and students who feel let down by what's happened?
Yeah, well, I just want them to know that I see them. This is their school. And I want them to know that, they're worth fighting for. So I'm here to fight.
And Mr. Raymond, as you just heard, made big promises regarding change, but whether he delivers, only time will tell. When we also discussed the school's negotiations with the California Department of Education, which is requesting millions back in repayment, and how he plans to rebuild public trust. Of course, we'll keep you updated on everything. Alex.
Yes, Andy, thank you so much. And I do want to mention that you can watch all episodes of the Wild West of Education right now on our ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. That app is free to download. Just go to news, the news category, and then you can just scroll down to investigations. You'll see everything right there. And Instagram users are beginning to flag a new feature that is raising some serious privacy concerns. It allows people to share their location data with friends in real time. And this comes just as teens are heading back to school. ABC10's Becca Habegger spoke with an expert about what risks people should consider.
Instagram has rolled out a new map feature that will share your location data with friends, updated whenever you open the app. Parent company Meta says a user's location data will not be shown unless they opt in. To make that selection yourself, go to your messages, look for the circle at the top that says map. The first time you tap on it, you'll be asked who can see your location. You can share with anyone you follow who also follows you back. You can select close friends, or you can hand-pick a list of people. You can also choose no one, don't share location.
Once you share, you're throwing your privacy out the door.
Dr. Joanne Broder is a media psychologist and author. She says parents and teens alike should think about the risks before deciding to share their location with friends. Not only physical safety, but also emotional.
It's a bullying. They can use your location, A, to find you, or to avoid you. Let's not be there so we don't run into her, but let's make a post that we were all together.
Here's one more thing to consider. Even if you do not opt into sharing your location data in real time, if you create a post or a story or a reel and you choose to add your location data, here I am at ABC10, that content will still show up on the new map feature. In Sacramento, as you can see, Becca Habiger, ABC10.
And we also want to mention that Instagram has a teen version with parental controls, of course. And for those accounts, parents can decide whether their kid even gets the option to share their location data. And if so, parents will be notified if their teen shares their location. And experts urge parents to talk to their kids about privacy and safety. Of course, very, very important.
The Elk Grove Water District has a warning about scammers posing as district employees.
Yeah, okay, so listen to this. The district says door-to-door salespeople from a company called California Efficiency Group are making false claims about water contamination to enter homes and collect personal information. The Elk Grove Water District has issued a cease and desist letter to that group. Police confirm they have received reports, but they add no crimes have been committed. People in Elk Grove tell us they're on the lookout and warning loved ones.
I was calling my parents to warn them not to let no one in. And so I call friends and family, especially elderly people that are kind of vulnerable, that they will, let them in. And myself, I don't trust anybody because there's so much scams going on.
ABC10 reached out to California Efficiency Group for comment, and we have not heard back. The Water District says if approached by one of these individuals engaging in these tactics, you should not allow them into your home or provide personal information. They add you should call the Elk Grove Police Department immediately while they're still in the area. Governor Gavin Newsom today announced an agreement with 4 major tech companies and leaders in artificial intelligence to help train the state workforce. The training will focus on AI jobs and will include preparing students in grades 9 through 12, community college and CSU for jobs in the industry. One of the major goals is to expand access to and knowledge of the fast-growing technology.
Today is an important day. It's a milestone, but it's also a recognition that the world, in many ways, we invented is now competing against us. And we've got to step up our game. And that's the spirit that I think defines the best of California, the spirit that defines the best of innovation.
Adobe, Google, IBM, and Microsoft are all part of the agreement. According to the governor's office, California is home to 33 of the top 50 privately held AI companies in the world. And this program comes at no cost to the state. Well, after months of delays and negotiations, new tariffs are now in effect. They impact dozens of countries that failed to meet a midnight deadline to make trade deals with the Trump administration.
And according to the nonpartisan Yale Budget Lab, the import duties are now the highest they've been since the Great Depression in 1935. ABC's Selena Wang has the latest from the White House.
Stocks mostly lower today on Wall Street as Trump's sweeping tariffs took effect at midnight. More than 90 countries now facing tariffs ranging from 15% to as high as 41% on their goods coming into the U.S., with almost all imported goods subject to a 10% tariff.
The tariffs, I think, we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs.
Roughly a dozen countries, including the UK, Japan, and South Korea, have worked out trade deals, but others facing steep levies. Switzerland hit with a 39% tariff. The owner of a Geneva watch store is predicting U.S. sales will plummet.
Right now, we're living the nightmare that we had hoped wouldn't come to be, where we're basically going to have to put the American market kind of on pause.
Other countries are scrambling to find alternative customers to the U.S. market.
This is an opportunity for Brazil to become less dependent, to diversify markets.
The tariffs will be paid by American companies, which many say will then pass costs on to consumers. A report from Yale Budget Lab shows it could cost the average household an additional $2,400 this year. Experts warning Americans could now face higher prices on everything from electronics and toys to clothes, furniture to produce and cars.
I actually purchased a car because I was worried about the tariffs coming up, honestly.
The president is betting tariffs will drive up manufacturing in the U.S., but many business owners, especially small businesses, say it just isn't realistic to make products in the U.S.
It's not just the product, putting it together. That could be done here. It would be more expensive here, and we'd have to pass that on to consumers.
The president also says more tariffs could be on their way, including an across-the-board 100% tariff on semiconductors. That could drive up prices on everything from electronics, appliances, and cars. Selena Wang, ABC News, the White House.
Back to school season's in full swing across Northern California. Today, more than 20,000 kids return to Roseville classrooms.
Another 22,000 kids are back in class in the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. And in a first this year, Riverview STEM Academy has expanded to teach K through 8th grade. And I have to say, Monica, you know, it never fails, right? Just as the students head back to class, things start to heat back up, right?
Oh, the timing of it isn't great. All the backpacks, and maybe if you're walking to school.
Right.
I know, it can get quite toasty, and all the sporting events as well. It was so fun to see the masses of kids, though, filing into school. Yeah, it's that time of year, and just as they are heading back to school, we've had this mild summer. Now things are starting to heat up. I think, though, when you see this 10-day forecast, you're really going to see it's going to be a rather condensed period of time. Highs for today, certainly feeling the summer heat. Mid to upper 90s up and down the valley, 70s for the coast, near 90 for the foothills, and near 80 for the Sierra. We haven't seen a whole lot of 100s this year. Most of August has started off below or actually at average. Yesterday we hit that high of 95, so that was 1 day above average. Haven't gotten the official high for today, but we'll put that up there in the 6 o'clock hour. Average number of days in the 100s is 16. We've had 4. It's very likely we're going to tack on a couple more days there on the rundown. Right now, sunny skies, 94 for Sacramento, Stockton 98, Modesto we're at 93, Marysville 97, and Tahoe checking in at 78 degrees. That sunset at 8:09. And I know a lot of folks really like to make a mark of when that sunset is, because as soon as that sun comes down, we know we start to chip away at some of those afternoon highs. Our morning lows are going to be in the 60s, sunrise at 6:14 tomorrow. We're going to quickly warm into the 70s by 9 a.m. By noon, we're already in the mid to upper 80s. I usually have a benchmark of about 90. If we hit that by noon, that's very likely to mean we're going to hit those 100. So just below that threshold, I'm going to put it at 99 for Sacramento. That's the monitoring side at Sacramento Executive. Many of those isolated locations will easily reach the 100s for tomorrow. So it's just that the 99 represents that one monitoring location. Surviving the valley heat, well, timing matters. The coolest time is at sunrise, as you just saw with that hourly forecast. The hottest time of day between 1 and 9 p.m. So if you can get out and avoid those hours, it's pretty manageable. Shade, hydration, and using sun protection above 30 will certainly help to survive those outdoor elements. And always check on others, children, elderly, and pets as well. Here's how this is all playing out. We've got this ridge of high pressure building in from the west, and that brings sinking, warming air. It pretty much is going to be the dominant factor in the forecast through the weekend into early next week. It starts to lose a little steam by early next week, and that will help to drop those temperatures. In the meantime, here we go. We're in the 80s for the high country for that Friday forecast, 90s and 100s as we move through the foothills. Along the coast, we've got highs in the 70s, 100s as we start to move to those coastal inland areas, 90s and 100s pretty much widespread throughout the valley. Just a couple of isolated locations that are still in the 90s. Highs will be in the mid 80s for this year. We're going to keep those going through early next week for the foothills. Highs in the upper 90s through the weekend. Forecast a little cooler next week, and that kind of indicates that change coming. Near 70 for the coast. If you're headed to San Francisco, Monterey, all those places are going to be great this weekend. 3-day outlook. We've got those first couple of days in the 100s there. We haven't seen that in quite some time, and then we're going to knock down that heat. This is what I'm talking about. Highs in the 80s by the end of next week. So this is a brief little bump up, and then we are starting to cool those temperatures by the time we get to the middle and end of next week.
Well, it's a good point. You know, it has been a while since we've had the triple-digit heat, so get back into that mode, being extra hydrated, extra careful.
Yeah.
Good thing is at night, though, we start to get a little bit of relief at least. Huh?
I mean, that's really the only saving grace here for us.
Okay. All right, Monica, thank you.
It's strange, it's weird, it's a little confusing. It's also Oregon's second oldest tourist attraction. This is the Oregon Vortex. Hiding below a forest of oak trees in Gold Hill, Oregon, is an unexplainable and invisible force. A place that animals fear and gravitational anomalies go unexplained. It's also a place where golf balls roll up hills and brooms stand upright on their own.
I'm just going to lift it right up into the air. And as we see, that bristle didn't take a heavy swing in towards me.
This mysterious place is known as the Oregon Vortex.
And as old as we are as a tourist attraction, the Vortex has presumably been here forever.
It's a little tough to explain what a vortex is, but operations manager Joshua Paulson does his best to simplify the anomaly.
A whirlpool of motion or force is the easiest way to define a vortex. So everything from drains in our sinks to hurricanes or tornadoes, all the way up to a black hole or a galaxy on a supermassive scale. Each of these things represent a vortex.
According to Joshua, the vortex is about a half an acre in size, and once inside, the laws of physics start to bend.
Just want to make sure everything's staying nice and level, so we'll let it stop here in the middle.
On seemingly level ground, shorter people appear to gain a few inches, and taller people, well, appear shorter.
So you feel taller?
I do feel taller.
Oh, that's nice, right?
If you didn't catch that, here's a side-by-side look.
Hang it onto the handrail as you come in. It can be tricky to locate your balance, especially the first time through.
In the middle of the vortex stands an old miner's shack that supposedly slid down the hill during a storm, which left the walls lopsided by 8 feet on either direction, only to accentuate some of the strange things that go on in the vortex.
I mean, I can put a little.
It's almost like I gotta catch it.
Yeah,
here
right. And like I feel like I need to stop you, right?
Yeah.
But
Legend has it, Native Americans called this place Forbidden Grounds, and after gold miners abandoned the property, physicist John Lister purchased the land in 1920.
John Lister is the cheerful-looking gentleman here with his pants tucked firmly up into his armpits. There he is.
John Lister devoted a good portion of his life to trying to solve the mysteries of this place. To fund his research, he gave tours of the property and even conducted experiments on skeptical tourists.
Skeptics are honestly our bread and butter, and honestly, we leave them scratching their heads more often than we leave them, grumpy or thinking, that we pulled something, like they're looking behind the curtain, right?
The results of John Lister's experiments are just as mysterious as the vortex itself. Around the time of his death in 1957, the barn that had all of his scientific notes mysteriously burned to the ground.
Some people think he burned it just before he died because the world wasn't ready, or that his wife did for similar reasons.
We may never get the answers to the mysteries behind the Oregon vortex, but in a way, that's kind of a good thing, because those mysteries are what bring thousands of people all over the world to the vortex every year.
From the Oregon Vortex in Gold Hill, Oregon, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads. We've been busy this morning with first days of school. Many seniors today, including seniors. We've been at Roseville High School this morning. Now we're going to go to Wood Creek High School. Mark S. Allen is there, and he's made a lot of new friends here on Senior Sunrise morning.
My senior portraits, I have buried anything during that entire year, so I'm trying to take a good one. I hope you like my frame. Actually, I just repurposed this. Some seniors took their picture and said, "We're done with your frame," and they threw it in the trash, and I got it back out. Hey, good morning to you. Good morning. All right, we've got awesome people over here. Everybody, shout your name. Donovan. That's my favorite name. All right, so what makes Wood Creek so awesome?
Wood Creek's so awesome because all the people, all my friends, our sports are really good, especially our football team this year. What's happening at Wood Creek
Wood Creek football. Hi, Miss. What's your name?
Charlotte.
All right. So, what are you looking forward to this year? What do you hope to accomplish?
Just staying focused, getting good grades, and making it through senior year.
So, when we talk to you, like, where's the world at going into your senior year? You think we're okay? How are you feeling, or how are you going to make the world a better place?
I feel like I'm going to make the world a better place by being kind. Obviously, me and my friends, we're all really good people, so we're out here making the world freaking awesome.
I asked you a loaded question, and I had no idea where you were going to go, but the fact that you led with kindness, that's what I'm talking about. Look, all of these people are taking their pictures over there. They're trying to make their very first senior year moments happen. But I said, hey, all the awesome people, come over here to find out who would just walk over here. So all of you are indeed awesome. Hey, come over here, you. So So how does it feel to be going into your senior year gray?
Oh my gosh, definitely have the gray going with these great kids, man, absolutely.
This is Josh. Josh owns the Chick-fil-A on Arden Way, a county away from here. Josh, you started at 18 years old, and then own your own Chick-fil-A. What advice do you give to them?
Take every opportunity seriously. You never know what's going to lead to your career. Absolutely.
When you were a senior in high school, did you ever think you'd go on to own the place you were working at?
You know, I mean, it was just a dream to be able to come in and do it, and so working hard really paid off, absolutely. With Chick-fil-A, ended up being able to become the owner there, so
awesome.
Can't
So
complain.
Chick-fil-A Ardenway, and want to shout out Chick-fil-A here in Roseville. They couldn't be here in person, so say aw. Aww. So instead, they sent you guys Chick-fil-A! Look, we don't want a dog pile, but I guess we can go ahead and start doling that out. Over here, sir. I'll get you your Chick-fil-A. What's your name, though?
Daniel Morton.
I noticed that you were fading back in the pack, so you didn't want to be on TV, but I'm making you be on TV. So right now, I want you to thank your mom and dad for all they've done.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Shout out the name. What did he say?
Shout out the name.
Say their name.
Felicia Morton and Daniel Morton.
Yeah. You should be a TV producer.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All right, so I think we've said it all. We've done it all. Wood Creek High School, are you feeling it? Yeah. They are seniors, and there is your sunrise. And back to you.
Guess, Alan, you covered everything there. Now, their first football game's against Jesuit. How are they feeling about that?
Hey, first football game is against Jesuit. I know it's rude to talk with your mouth full, but anybody prepared to give me how you're feeling about that game?
We're going to win. I think that personally we're going to win that game, and I think we have a lot of confidence going in that game. Our team is really good, and we're going to be good. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you missed out, they're wearing pink because that's their senior color. All right.
Good stuff. All right. And getting sports news in there, too. That's going to be a good football game. Thank you all, and enjoy the Chick-fil-A.
Thanks for watching this ABC 10 Plus recap. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.